China has two options that could cripple the U.S. economy and tank the U.S. dollar. Option one, currency manipulation. China can drop the value of the yuan so their products become cheaper, outperforming the U.S. effortlessly and making any future tariffs moot. Option number two, bond dumps. Japan just sold all of its U.S. bonds. If China follows, the dollar's strength collapses, so does the full faith and credit of the U.S. And I know what you're thinking.
Well, Divine, why is it so important if Japan dumped U.S. bonds?
Well, let's take a step back here. Japan and China hold the largest amount of U.S. Treasury bonds. The United States relies heavily on foreign countries buying its debt in the form of U.S. Treasury bonds, T-bonds. Right now, China and Japan are the biggest holders of U.S. debt, and if they dump these bonds, it's a wrap for America's financial dominance. Let's break it down like a Divine One read. What are U.S. Treasury bonds? U.S. Treasury bonds equals America's IOU notes. The U.S. government sells these bonds to raise money. Countries like China and Japan buy these bonds, basically lending money to the U.S. In return, the U.S. pays them interest on these bonds. It's a global trust system. Countries hold U.S. debt because the U.S. dollar is the world's reserve currency, the safest investment. But what if China and Japan start dumping their bonds? Let's get into why this would shake the global economy and why America would be begging for mercy. The impact: number one, the U.S. dollar crashes. Right now, Japan holds over $1.1 trillion in U.S. debt. China holds around $800 billion in U.S. debt. If they sell off these bonds, the value of the U.S. dollar would drop. Foreign investors would panic, the stock market would go into free fall, and the U.S. economy would be shaking. Why